So it's been a while since I made a video. This one's gonna kind of shift directions about what I was doing into what I'm doing now. Um, for those who watched my last video about what I was doing, it was in 29 Palms. I'm no longer there anymore for air support operations. They ended up reclassing me, not for academic failure, but because the recruiters over recruited for that MOS, and so they got all of the 7242s and 36s into a room, and they were like, okay, we need X amount of people to leave. And I don't know if I ever put in my first boot camp video, but my original MOS that I wanted was aviation electronics. So when they sat us all down in a room, they offered one kid who was a 7236 and I was a 7242. They offered him avionics, so I asked the master sergeant, I was like, hey, could you look that into me? So he looked into it, and he ended up getting me a spot here in Pensacola. And I was super psyched. I was like, we're gonna go to Pensacola. It's close to home, and this is what I can do. If I get out after my first 5, I can go work for just any airplane company, because I want to get fixed wing. I don't really want tilt rotor, but we'll see. And so that's pretty much what happened at 29 Palms. It happened, and I think I left within once the master sergeant told me that I was leaving, I left within the next 4 days or something like that. So I got all my stuff ready, left, went to Pensacola. It was pretty bad. We had the red-eye flight, and then once we got to Pensacola, it was the middle of the day, and just the whole indoctrination process was bullshit for me, just because we got there at such an awkward time. But that's, I guess, a story for another video. This video is more of for people that aren't in yet and are wondering what 6300s and 6400s do for schooling. So for avionics 6300, 6400, you have 3 strands, I guess, if you want to call it. Strands are the different types that there are. 6400s are typically I strand. 6300s are typically O strand or AE. I classed up a week or 2 ago as AE. That's what I wanted, so I'm actually pretty thankful that I got that. Everything's working out in the end. So to pretty much break it down, for as much as I know, O strand works directly on the plane. They I guess you can kind of say they troubleshoot. Something's wrong with the plane, they'll find that part, they'll take it out. I strand is the ones who work on the part individually, so O strand will take that part out of either the bird or the helicopter and bring it to a shop, and that's where I strand will look at it, go into more detail inside that part. And then AE, which is what I am, is just, as far as I know, we're just one big giant troubleshooting strand, because that's all we're doing is working on big schematics, on this big of a page, but obviously they get bigger. That's, as far as I know, that's what they do. O strand, it's a pretty easy school from what I've heard academically. I strand, you're here longer, and I strand is a ton of maths, and it's more or less an engineering course. I mean, all these are, I guess, engineering courses in a sense, but I strand is definitely the more difficult one. AE is about the same as O strand. I think it's a couple weeks longer, and the thing about AE is you have to choose AE and O strand or AE and I strand. So what they were telling me is that you do your A school for just AE, and then once you go to your C school, you're going to be working on O strand C school stuff or I strand C school stuff. And it all depends. Um, I'll go into when you get your orders later. So those are pretty much the different strands that there are in avionics. Like I said, OAE is 6300, I strand is 6400, and it does sometimes vary because I had, or there were some people here before I classed up that were saying, oh, I'm a 6300, but I just got into I strand because they might have needed people or something along those lines. So that's that. Um, in Pensacola for the schoolhouse for air crew, air traffic control, um, avionics, airframe, 5900s. I don't know what they do. Um, and then the other MOSs that are here that I can't remember. Um, they are all um, just not. It's not just Navy and Marines. The Air Force is also there too. As in terms of academics, you do, if you're a Marine, you're in a co-ed class with Marines and sailors. Sometimes, there'll be 5 Marines, 15 sailors, 15 Marines, 5 sailors, it all depends. And Navy people are pretty cool. You get to kind of work with them, and it's interesting to see like their standards, their regulations, and then you have the Marine Corps. PT is different. You PT on your own, obviously, or not on your own. Between different branches. So Marines obviously PT with Marines, Navy's PT with Navy. There's a video online for Pensacola where there's the Navy walking around the I guess the lawn, if you want to call it, with Pete's, and the Marines are PTing. So that's a pretty cool video. I was actually kind of looking forward to that. But all branches go to school here. Apparently, they said the Army does their school here, but I've yet to see like any Army. Mostly just Air Force and Navy. There's Coast Guard here as well. I never see them. I just see their boat that's just like I don't even know. It's like somewhere over that way. But their boat, they're pretty active and they leave a lot. Um, Next thing on the base, I guess there's stuff to do on the base, but I've almost been in the Marine Corps for a year. Next month will be my year, and I'm kind of done with the stuff on base. It gets old after a while. The chow hall here fucking sucks. I would prefer chow hall food from MCRD Paris Island than this. Like, even MCT and 29 Palms were just way better than this food. And for some reason, Pensacola gets, like, the best chow hall rating or whatever. I don't understand it. What else? They have a Nex here. They don't have a MCX. They have a Nex, the Navy Exchange, and it's pretty small, honestly. It's broken up into 2 sections, but even if you were to combine them both, it's probably the size of the MCX at MCRD Paris Island. Everything else is like, it's just small. Everything's small there, and it's a big change because even at 29 Palms, like, you went to the MCX, it was huge. You went to the commissary, it's huge. The commissary is on a different base. It's not on NAS Pensacola, which I find it super weird. Cause you can't leave during the week on base to go to Corey Station. I think that depends on what if you're like, I guess, command you're under. It all depends on that. I believe so, at least, because for us, we're not allowed to, but I heard other people are, depending on what you are. So there's that. The haircuts here suck. If you want a good haircut, you have to go off base. There's one good person who cuts my hair here, but I don't really go there unless I have to. But the thing is, if you want a good haircut, you have to tip them nice, and then the next time that you come back, if they remember you, then they'll do it. So the one guy, I always make sure that I tip him nice, but I usually go off base for my haircuts because I would rather look nice. But my hair is like kind of almost out of rags. It might be actually. So damn, this is already 10 minutes. I feel like I'm so boring right now. Um, I just got back actually today. We were there's a lot of volunteer events here, which are super cool. Like in Pensacola, the Marines and Navy, they do a lot of volunteer work around here. Today we were volunteering for a baseball camp for kids with special needs, and I thought that was super cool. I got to meet a lot of cool kids, and there's one kid. He I don't know what to call it, but he's got like the crutches for both of his hands, so like he can't walk straight. But he's a super cool kid. I mean, he was hitting the ball like almost over the fence. He was throwing it like really far, really fast. Like some of those kids out there, like despite their disability, like those kids are pretty good and they're passionate about the game, so it's really nice. But back to the video. So the way that it works for like the process for Pensacola is you get here, you do your in-dock brief, and this is for avionics. I don't know for if you're, air traffic control or anything. This is just for avionics. You come here, you do your first 2 week of in-docks, which is briefs and briefs and briefs. You're always going to get those. Even like, so I left January 25th, and I already had back in the saddle training, which is just PowerPoints and briefs. I got that before the Christmas break and then after. And then I went to Pensacola the 25th of January or something like that. And um and I had to get more briefs. I'm like, I just got these briefs. Does it really matter? But it does, obviously. They're briefs and you need to hear it from every command. So you do your 2 weeks of in-dock, you just brief, they tell you, what you can't do, your liberty stuff, what's on base, what you can't do, the places that are restricted off base. After in-dock, you can either class up into ATT, which I'll get to in a second, or you do barrack support. Barrack support is the barracks that you're at. It's just a cleaning party for a week or two. Whether it's going out to the smoke pit, scrubbing it down, mopping, cleaning windows, cleaning out the gidunk. The gidunk means vending machine for whatever reason. That's some Navy terminology for you. I call it the vending machine. I don't know. But it's just a big working party for a week or two, very rarely 3 weeks. And then after that, you'll class them to ATT. ATT is your basic electronics course. I forgot what it stands for. It's like apprenticeship, technical trainee, something like that. It's just pretty much telling you like the basics into like circuits, wiring, and shorts, opens, high resistance, just like the basic technical electrician stuff, I guess, if you want to call it that. How switches work. You fucking flip a switch, a light comes on, but it gets more into detail with that. That course is only 4 weeks long. After that, you graduate. It doesn't really matter if you graduate the top of your class there. I mean, I guess it looks better in the long run, maybe. But my buddies who are already in the fleet said they don't really care. But I mean, I guess that's a good morale thing. Like, hey, I graduated the top of my class. I'm going to try and keep it up for the next strand. So you do ATT for a month. Then you go to IT, which is something. I don't know what it stands for. I don't care. IT, you just pretty much clean the mega building. The mega building is where you have all your classes at. So you go around, sweep, mop, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. That, or you go in the LRC so you can work on your MCIs, and they try to push you to get leading Marines done. After that, you strand up. O strand 2 months, AE 2.5 months, and then I strand. I want to say 6 months. I think it's 6 months. I could be wrong, but O strand's known as swole strands, so like their PTs are pretty up there. It's pretty, like, watching them do it, it's like pretty motivating. And then you have I strand and AE that are I strand and AE, which are kind of on the same PT schedules, which is kind of interesting. But that's pretty much it. Like, I'm not going to get too much in detail what we do for, I guess if you want to call it operational risk management. I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble, so I won't really talk about it. I already talked about what ATT was. It's just like basic electrician stuff. AE, I strand, O strand, all is like they all need each other to work. So it all falls into the same category. So it all has something to do with basic electrician. Like I said, O strand pretty much works on the plane itself. AE troubleshoots it, so if something's not working, they go figure out what it is, and then I strand does like the nitty gritty, like in the workshop stuff. So um, that's all I'll really talk about. So once you strand up, and I think it's when you're 3 weeks prior to before you graduate, you go up to the hill and you get your orders. So it's gonna go from, as far as I know now, it might be changing, but as far as I know now, it's, if you're top in the class, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, they give you, say there's like 15 Marines. There's gonna be 15 set of orders, and then obviously the first person's gonna pick whatever he wants. Second picks whatever. Third, all the way down the line. So you could get the shittiest bird or the complete opposite of what you want. There's a lot of cool aircraft that are coming out. F-35s. So I don't want F-35s. I want C-130s, but F-35s would be really cool because you'd be kind of like, as my instructor said, the guinea pigs. So, I mean, you would be the first to find out all the tips and tricks that have to go along with that. It's definitely one of my choices. Like, it'd probably be my third choice, but C-130s are definitely for me. Just in terms of how both my instructors were talking about it. They said that they got to travel all the time. And I'm not going to say why, because, yeah. But yeah, you get to travel a lot with C-130s. And that's really it. I'll go over the Liberty because I think the Liberty here is bullshit compared to 29 Palms. So 29 Palms, Bravo Company, which was all the 06s who are just retarded, they had strict policies, but they had strict policies. I guess it's kind of like here for Bravo if you're an 06. But they weren't as strict, and they didn't treat you like garbage in a sense like that. So I'll explain how it was for 29 Palms Alpha Company when I was there compared to what it is here. So 29 Palms Alpha Company, after work, you could go out in civvies, go in town up to a certain mile radius, and you had to be back by 10 on weekdays. Obviously, you can drink if you're over 21. You can have a vehicle if you're classed up. It's like, I don't know, at 29 Palms, you're treated like a human. Your NCOs respect you to an extent. Obviously, it's not buddy or anything like that, but and then on weekends, you can go up to a certain mile radius. If you want to request special lib, you can stay out over the weekend. Like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You don't have to come back till Sunday night or whatever your special liberty chit says. Sorry, there's noise up there. I'm also very tired. I'm sorry that I am dragging this video out. I'm trying to finish up in the next minute. But, so that was pretty much it. You can just pretty much do whatever you want. Here, it's, you gotta sign out in the logbook, like, every second of the day. If you're going to the chow hall, you have to go to the chow hall, come back, sign in, go to the gym, leave, come back, sign back in, go to, the Liberty place, sign back in, USO, you have to go sign in, sign out, like, why don't you just... 29 Palms, we didn't have to sign up, we just left, and then we came back, and then no one was UA. Even if they had their cars, no one ever went UA. There's always accountability. So you gotta check in and check in as a kid pretty much. Your Liberty on weekends is till 11 on Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday it's at 9. Your Liberty during the weekday is till 9. You have to stay in camis all throughout the work week. There's some other dumb rules. I don't. It's very strict here. It's very strict. There's NCOs that are always harping on you for just the very minimal things, and it sucks too because I'm like a Marine Corps order nerd, if you want to put it that way. So when there's an NCO that's wrongfully correcting a Marine, as in giving him the false information and telling him because he's an NCO, I find that hard because you're saying, oh, it's in the order when it's not. And I won't say anything because I'll go back home and I'll double check to make sure I'm right. Because I don't want to seem like that jackass that's like, excuse me, Corporal, excuse me, Sergeant, that's wrong. But I'm a student, so it doesn't matter. I'm in the Marine Corps year, I'm still a student. But yeah, it's just, you have to, you're treated like you're treated like manna of the gods here, and it sucks. It really sucks. But I'm leaving here soon, and you can probably do the math because I said when I classed up and I said how long the course is. But that's it. Overall, if you want a good job after the Marine Corps, I would definitely say via 6300. If you're looking into the aviation air support 7200 field, I would honestly say, and like you don't want a career after the Marine Corps, like you just want to stay in the Marines, I would say go 7242, 7236, 7212s. There is a big need for them. There is a huge need for them right now. Not so much the 42s and 36s, even though I said no after we left. They're going to start needing a lot of people. They're going to, especially 7212s. So, like I said, job after, come here, aviation operations, go to 29 Palms. If I was in 29 Palms, I would be graduating in 2 weeks, and I'd be in the fleet. But instead, I wanted the job that I originally wanted, so I had to sacrifice 7 months waiting to pick up class, and then the extra 6 months for extra schooling. So that's on me. I can't really complain. I'm just a salty student. I always get comments like, oh, what a boot. Sorry, I'm a year-long student. I don't know what you want from me, but that's about it. If you have any questions or anything, you can message me or put it in the comments section. Or if you want me to talk about anything. I've been in for years, so I've seen a lot of stuff. I don't know much about fleet stuff. 29 Palms, you're treated like a fleet marine, but here it's very different. So I can tell you a lot of people getting blasted kind of stories, but if you have any questions, just, like I said, message me, comment in the comment description. That's it. I don't know when I'm going to put out another video. I got a GoPro, so I've been going around doing some stuff. I just went to a trampoline park, so I'm getting some clips together for that, but I kind of ruined some of the footage, but I'm going to try get some stuff coming. Once I get to the fleet, honestly, from there it's just kind of like I'll be able to do whatever I want, because as being a student, it's like it's just dumb and boring. You can't really do anything. Alright, I've been talking too long. It's already 25 minutes. Sorry about that. Yeah. I will see you all later. Deuces.